120 grand of passive income each year, it's enough to change your life. And the main reason why I'm agreeing to help this client is because I believe in her. She already put in so much work. She was sending me all this research that she's done. She's already has so many answers on a lot of the main questions. After I talk to her, I see her send out like 4 or 5 different emails to all these different entities. This lady's working. I believe in her, and I think she's going to get this done. So I'm willing to help people that are putting the work in, And I think that's a common thing in this industry with these design build companies that I talk to. If they see the client is serious and putting in a lot of effort into this, they're going to be more willing to help them, because I'm sure they have hundreds of people reaching out like, hey, I own a property. How do I put chargers in? And it's like, well, they're expecting the design build company to do all the work and tell them exactly what they need to do. And a lot of property owners I speak to, they just kind of give up because they don't hear back from Tesla, or they can't get the information that they need right away. Like, you got to fight for this to make this work. And my client in Pueblo, she's fighting. She's a fighter. I like it. And for example, I speak to some people, they're like, oh, I sent an email to Tesla, but I never heard back. And this is common, because on the Tesla Supercharger team, I think they told me there's only 13 or 14 of them on this team, and they're selling almost $1 billion every year in Tesla Superchargers. So it's almost like 14 people operating $1 billion business. No wonder they have a hard time getting back to everybody that emails them. I don't blame them. But this is where I can help. I can help bridge that gap a little bit, and I can answer any question that you have about your project that you could get from anyone else. And if you're new here, my name's Trevor, and I was the director of sales for 2 different EV charging companies, but now I help guide people on how to make money from Tesla Superchargers. So I said to my client, I'm like, let's go through the steps. First step, lowest level of the rebate totem pole, if you will. There's 3 levels. Usually the one on the lowest level, which is the utility rebate, is often the easiest one to get. And we need to work with the utility company anyways. So let's start there. Let's reach out to the utility company and see what they say. And in the meantime, I said to my client, you need to go figure out all the stuff on the property side. You need to talk to whoever you need to from the city or whoever to make sure that you can get all the permits and everything you need for the easements and the access and everything for the property, because that's priority number 1. If we find out later that we can't do what you want to do on the site, then no point talking to these rebate companies or anything else, right? So she said, yeah, no problem. She's working on that. She's been messaging me a lot, and it looks like things are going to work out with that. So I think I'm confident in her. She'll be able to figure out the property side. Let's start working on the rebate side. And we got a beautiful response from the utility company. It's called Black Hills Energy, I believe, is the utility company in her area. And they were basically like, I've never seen a utility company email the words free. The utility company said, yeah, we have tons of rebates for these projects right now. If you went with this size transformer for this many chargers, then we'll cover this %. And if you go with the bigger %, then he literally said it will be free. It will be free. Usually they say it'll be at no cost, or there's a rebate covering this amount, but it was really encouraging hearing him say the word free. And I think it's because they're right in the middle of their program. These rebate programs usually operate first come, first serve. And once the money's gone, they'll close it. So the fact that he's using words like free tells me maybe there's not that many applications, or they still have a lot of money left. So this is great. First stage, big green light. Now the next stage is the state level rebates. And these are a little bit trickier to navigate. They're usually more competitive. If you are able to get them, then the amounts are quite high. So just going back to the utility company, what they said was really what they're trying to gauge out is the size of the transformer that you need. And a lot of this depends on how many superchargers you're going to be installing, right? So Tesla sells the superchargers. Imagine them in packs of 8. The reason why it's like this is because the superchargers are one thing, but the power cabinet behind the supercharger, that big white box, is really what the money's going into. This is what the technical side of it is. And with the new V4 superchargers, which are the ones that you would be getting if you ordered superchargers, those ones, each power cabinet can support up to 8 of those superchargers. Now you can do 4, the minimum is 4, but you're still using a cabinet that can support up to 8. So I told my client that it's usually helpful to do your best to try to determine how many chargers you want with that idea in mind when you talk to all these people. Because when you talk to the utility company, when you talk to the installer, if you say, oh, maybe 8, maybe 16, maybe 24, maybe, they're going to be going, well, then maybe it'll cost this much. Maybe you can get this amount of rebates, maybe this. So it's good to kind of just start with a number in mind. I told her to aim for 8. It's a smaller parcel of land, so she wants to push for 16. I understand where she's coming from, gently guiding her towards 8, but you can do a future-proof thing where, provision in all the connections for 8 more in the future. I'll get into that later, but let's just imagine we're focusing on 8, right? So the utility company sent an email. What did he say here? He said, it's such a nice email to read. He said, if you were to do 1 supercharger cabinet, which is 8 superchargers, he said the transformer would be rated at 1,000 kVA and the cost would be 90 grand. He said there's a big construction rebate available for this. He said most likely making it free. Then he said if you were wanting to go with 4 Tesla Supercharger cabinets, which would be 32 chargers on the high end, then he said the transformer would be rated for 5,000 kVA and it would cost 250 grand. And he said, we have a big construction rebate allowance for this and it would be making this free. It sounded like he was more confident about the bigger charger or the bigger transformer being free than the smaller transformer. And you might think this is kind of counterintuitive, but you have to remember that this is a huge benefit for them. Like the utility companies, there's a reason why they're offering these rebates. And technically, they're not called rebates. They're called incentives. So rebate makes it sound like you're getting this thing. It's for sure. Incentives are really what they're called because they're just incentivizing people to come and make this deal. Like, hey, come on over here. If you do this, we might be able to hook you up with all this money. So I think that's a better way of looking at it. And they're incentivizing people to do this because think about it. The utility company, the more giant transformers they have out there, the more electricity they have going out, the bigger their grid grows and the more of their product they can sell, which is electricity, and make more money. So this guy from Black Hills, if he closes this deal and gets a giant transformer out there, it's going to look really good on him for his company to make more money. So that's the mechanics that are going on behind the deal with the utility company. Okay, now I want to talk about the state level rebates. And then after that, we'll talk about how much the project is going to cost roughly and what I think her profit projections could be. So the next level up we went to was the state level. And there are 2 main rebates that we were targeting from the state level. And the first one is the DCFC Plaza. So DCFC being DC fast charging, which is just another term for level 3 charging, which is just another term for Tesla Superchargers. They're all synonymous. It's the same thing. And this Plaza program can offer up to 80% of the total project cost for everything. Pretty amazing. That's one of the best state programs. There's another one they have that goes alongside it. I think it's called the Charge Ahead or Charge Forward Colorado. Let's see. Charge Ahead Colorado. This one's basically the same. It could cover 80 to 90% of the total project cost. So if she's able to get one of those, things are starting to look really good. Now, we don't have confirmation from them yet. We just got the green light from stage 1 utility company. So she's working on those state level rebates, but if she can get 80% of this project paid for, it's a no-brainer. Okay, well, how much is this project going to cost? We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about also the financing. I have some financing information for you. And then potential profits. So I always like to say for 8 superchargers, all in total project cost, everything, install, drawings, coordination with the utility company side of things, ordering the chargers, the power cabinets, shipping, everything for 8 chargers is usually about $1 million. Might be a little bit lower, like 950. And usually it's split down the middle. So half of that is going to be for the equipment, like the hard, we call it the hard cost, the equipment, the power cabinet, the chargers, everything, right? Physical stuff. And then the other half, the other 500 grand is going to be for what we call the soft costs. So the installation, the drawings, all the service side of things of getting these chargers installed. So if she's able to get this 80% rebate, then she'll only be paying 200 grand out of pocket. If that's the case, the financing side is not as complicated. I mean, financing 200 grand is not the end of the world, but let's just say it's like one of my other clients, for example, in Maryland, where we found out that there's really no rebates available at the moment. The program closed on June 30th. So financing for that looks a little bit different. Now, I have a couple good financing companies I like to work with. One of them doesn't like to finance the soft costs because it makes sense. If you stop making your payments, they can't go and take out engineering drawings that, you can't resell soft costs, but the hard costs you can. So some finance companies only like to finance the hard costs, but there are companies like I have another gentleman in Utah, finance company in Utah, who works with all 50 states, but they will finance the entire project. Usually the interest rates are, so one nice thing I like about the financing is I like to work with companies that offer equipment financing agreements, which means the lien is put on the equipment. It's not put on the property. So, I mean, it's super nice to have it separated like that. If they need to if the payments stop and, things go bad, which I'm sure they won't, but they only have the lien on the equipment, which is nice. So just some super rough numbers on like interest rates and everything that I've heard of. This is developing, but for example, one finance lady I spoke to, she said, I mean, it really all just comes down to the credit rating of the client, their business history, their top line revenue, how long they've been in business, if they own the property or not. There's lots of different things that come into play here, but I think it sounds like if you have good credit, you're looking at about 7% interest. Bad credit is closer to 14%. So let's just say the project cost 500 grand. Actually, let's use our million. Let's say you finance the whole thing. Let me just double check my numbers. Okay, so let's say you took your $1 million project, you had good credit, you wanted to finance the entire thing, and you got a 7% interest rate, right? So how much interest would you be paying this amount? So using 7%, I just ran some calculations here. Of that, if it's on $1 million, you'll pay about 188 grand in interest. So that million turns into probably 1.2 million. And if you have bad credit, that 1 million turns into like 1.4 million. So about 400 grand in interest that you would be paying. Now, on average, on all the projects that I've been looking at, working on, researching on, talking to Tesla, they say that depending on what state you're in, you're looking at a break-even point of about 5 to 7 years for any given project without rebates. So if you're in a place like Washington or Florida or Texas, even Colorado's in the top 10, you can break even closer to that 5 years or less mark. If you're in somewhere like Alaska is the worst one, Hawaii, there's a handful on the bottom of the barrel there where electricity is really expensive and there's not that many Teslas. Could be closer to 7. So my finance people, they say that usually they like to have the amortization term, they like the term to be around 5 years, and they do their best to try to match the payments with the profit each month from the chargers, right? So in a perfect world, you'd want to have your payments just under the profit you're making each month. Then after 5 years, that thing's paid off and all the money that you're making in profit is just passive income for you forever. And it's only going to keep going up as more people drive Teslas. Now, the nice thing with this $1 million project is it's not like you pay $1 million up front. It's in